Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 277 of the Saturn Studs podcast. I'm Kurt, joined once again this week by my ancient co-hosts, Peter and Jake.
That's how it feels anyway. That's right, Kurt. This week, we've got a good one for you. It's the Sticky Tack edition of the cast. That's right. In the next 1,000 years, the only thing that will be left of humanity is a piece of adhesive clay that's holding up, a little, either a motivational poster of a stick figure saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, or perhaps a Cold War map where Russia is still the USSR, or even a list of suffixes in the third grade English classroom. Sticky tape, longer half-life than uranium. And it's here for us today. It's holding up this entire cast today as we speak.
Hell yeah.
My desk is assembled entirely with sticky tack. There is no other material.
Phil Swift wanted to get on the ground floor.
I painstakingly painted it to look like a fucking particle board desktop and steel struts, but nope, it's all sticky tack.
I removed all the nuts and bolts from my car and replaced it with sticky tack. Nobody can tell the difference. Now, do I lose a couple things rolling down the highway? Yeah, sure. Who doesn't? Whatever. Who needs AC?
Who needs a hubcap anyway, huh?
I can't.
Brake line? We need brake line for.
We got, God gave cars 4 wheels, so you can lose a couple along the way. Why not?
So do you, you don't need all 4. That's just excessive.
And of course, as always, we're coming at you live from the secretive Mickey Mouse House of Mouse writing room, where they create all the machinations of Disney products that will come for the next 10, 20 years through a series of divine rituals.
I like to think...
Couple blood sacrifices, just the usual.
I like to think there's an IV drip of Dole Whip going into the writer's veins, and it's like the spice. Like the Navigators Guild, they've deformed and they've grown mouse ears. And they just write Disney scripts all day.
Bring me more Dole Whip.
I think it's really just a matter of Disney being like, okay, Pirates was a big success. If not just because the movies made a lot of money, but because it took one of our older attractions at Disney World and made it popular again. Here's a list of our 5 worst performing attractions. Write a movie about one of them.
This is...
And like, the fucking Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
The skipper makes corny jokes on that. We can work with that. Yeah. And then they just were like, they wrote in their script, The Rock makes dad jokes to the camera, 35 minutes. And then they just kind of filled in the rest around that.
I would describe this as like the statistical completion of the Disney attraction turned movie mega trilogy. The first, obviously, being Pirates of the Caribbean, that whole series. The second being Haunted Mansion. I forget who was in that. I forget the...
Oh, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy's Haunted...
How could you forget the infamous Eddie Murphy?
I wanted to call him Eddie Vedder, but that was very wrong.
I wanted to call him Eddie
Yes.
never essence. Eddie
The Nutty Professor.
Eddie
Evanescence. Eddie Evanescence.
Dr. Doom.
Eddie Never Essence.
And then so that Pirates was high, the Haunted Mansion was low, so this is the average.
Man,
has it only been that many? Well, I mean, I guess we won't get the other one. Or, I mean, maybe they'll still make the terror movie, but Scarlett Johansson bit the hand that feeds, and it bitch slapped back hard. So she lost a lot more money than she's suing for by getting cut out of that project. I'll tell you that right now.
Scarlett, you're getting replaced with Anthony Mackie for the next movie.
Shit, man. Yeah, the Jungle Cruise. I wish I win on that, just so I could like.
Oh, am I the only one who's been on the
Yes.
Jungle Cruise ride?
I think I passed it up last time I went to because it's Animal Kingdom. I'm assuming, right?
No, I think it's in Magic Kingdom.
Oh,
I
we skipped it.
I think I went on it first in Disneyland, not Disney World. I'm not sure if it's in. Maybe it's not even in Disney World. Maybe it's just in Disney.
I have no point of
Disney is an
contact.
interesting company because they make so many friggin' changes. Like every other month, it seems like there's a new hot take change from Disney, and they cannot die, which means they're just gonna get away with murder.
At the same
one day.
time, they're like
change.
they're living on the edge perpetually, as Defunct Land has explained many times in their long-running series. Disney World seems to be like barely skirting the surface. It's like it's like the Voldemort in like Harry Potter 1, where he's like got the cursed unlife, where he can live, but it's like it's not true life. That's how Disney stays afloat.
Like the higher ups just must be like coked out of their mind at all times to be able to take all these risks that are like, this is going to sink our company or make us millions of dollars. Sure. What? Two night Star Wars hotel, $6,000. Send it.
I think you'll find in business there's often a fine line between sinking the company and making millions of dollars.
Not for Disney. It's one way or the other.
Well, Disney now has like
Reputation's gonna get canceled.
has the
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that it's a fine line.
Oh.
Like
I,
at most decisions you make will either
gotcha,
make you a lot of money or sink you.
although as the counterpoint, Disney has now established like they have their mother's allowance fund, aka Disney live action remakes, because those don't have to be good apparently, but they will fucking
What's next up on the
crank out
docket
money.
for that? Do you
Ariel,
think?
I believe, or Little Mermaid, or whatever.
Oh right, well after that one.
Oh, after
where
that
they
one?
have a black girl playing Ariel, which was a minor controversy.
Probably Princess and the Frog. That's the one I can think of off the top of my head.
That's a little soon, don't you think? Like that's the newest one.
Um,
Did they do fucking Cinderella yet?
They didn't do Cinderella.
I mean, but there's been like a ton of different Cinderella remakes or offshoots.
Do you
I
think
think-
that's gonna stop them?
No, I mean,
How many times have they done Pinocchio?
I remember that Italian one, that Italian Pinocchio movie. I don't think that one was Disney.
Yeah, I guess they don't own the rights.
let me see what are some of the Disney.
They shouldn't. I guess Snow White. Like that's the first one, right?
I want like I'm surprised they haven't. Well, no, I guess the next one would be. What about Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Oh yeah,
Could you release that in today's political climate?
sure.
There'd be protests being like, he's not a hunchback, he's just differently abled.
yeah. They'll come up with some shit.
Mhm.
Oh, Peter. Peter Pan. Like a
Well,
modern.
we had
more
Hook.
Straight to the classic Peter Pan.
Are they going to do the Hook reboot?
Didn't they just did Wendy, right?
Oh yeah, they did.
Was that Disney or was that someone else?
No,
Bambi? But they fucking species bend Bambi, and it's just a kid who gets his fucking.
wait, wasn't that that
clapped
trailer
up.
where like the people were turning into animals? What was that?
I think that was an SNL
No,
sketch.
no.
I was gonna say, wasn't The Rock in that one? Wasn't he Bambi?
I believe he was.
Let me find it because we talked about
Because they did Dumbo. Yeah, that's right. They did Dumbo.
Sweet. It was Sweet something, right? You remember, like Sweet Tooth or Sweet Kid?
Oh, Sweet Tooth. Yeah, that's on Netflix. That's like from a book or some shit.
Yeah, where the kid's like he's like he's like a little satyr kid or some shit.
Have they ever done a Pocahontas? Pocahontas is another one that they're gonna get clapped up by the SJWs out there.
Well, they just have to be careful to cast a native actress in the lead role, because you can't act.
A Lilo and
outside your race.
Stitch movie would be good.
Yeah, then you could get The Rock back.
Yeah,
It's
Playing
vaguely
Stitch.
Polynesian. It's fine.
we can have Sean Gunn do the mocap for Stitch and maybe the voice if he can do a good one.
I think we got.
Fuck it, another Beauty and the Beast. Just
Yeah,
do it again. Do it
I
again.
want to see the live action Disney sequels where they start doing the sequels in live action.
Oh my god.
Aladdin 2.
Yep.
Lion King 2.
Wake me when they get to Aladdin 3. Lion King 2, as far as Disney sequels goes, not the worst.
Was there a Lion King 2.5 or was it
Yes,
1.5?
there was.
It was 1.5,
1.5,
which
yeah.
was from the perspective of Timon and Pumbaa.
That's what we
which
need.
as a kid I found very funny. I don't know how it would hold up today. Perhaps that could be visited in a future episode.
That's an out there one.
That's a tease.
But that's for the future, and we can predict the future with the help of trailers on our segment
Yes, Trae Watch.
Trae Watch,
Yes.
where we watch
We wa-
trailers.
Trades? Oh, yeah, that's the right answer. Shit.
Slow talking's a hard thing to do in a remote podcast situation.
It's rough, kids.
You should do like an audio, but I want to get you to record like a book, just slow talk the book,
Oh my god,
like the Hungry Caterpillar.
I could do my
The hungry
getter.
caterpillar.
It's great. I love it.
Not a lot of trailers this
No,
week.
they're all gonna come out
I'm-
after
I'm-
the cast.
They're all gonna come out Saturday.
Mhm.
But we've got the final trailer for Eternals featuring Red Thing that is not Galactus.
They pushed it back too, so I don't know if this was like, sorry guys, we're delaying it, but here's another trailer to wet your whistle.
November 5th.
Yeah, what was it? supposed to
I
be?
just I I don't know. And credit to them, they're trying to build off of Endgame. But
It just doesn't have the
I don't
impact.
care. I just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the minority, I guess. I'll be the contrarian. I'm excited for this. I think from this trailer we see a lot more of the visuals that they're going to do, so it's going to be it's going to be a very visual appealing movie. So I really hope they did some good CG with that, and it'll be a good. This is I'm going to be the stereotypical go see this in the movies where it's supposed to be watched. I could see this definitely being something that you like. Wow, you want your entire screen to be filled up with I don't know, whatever bullshit they're peddling with
I admire your optimism.
space magic and whatnot. As for a story, it might be kind of cool. It seems like it's going to be like a mini Avengers though, because they're all spread out and they all got to assemble each other, and
It's the Marvel
yeah.
story.
So
they
it's
tell one story.
it's gonna be pretty,
It seems to
formulaic.
It seems to me like I guess from what you're saying, apparently the hook is the visuals. When I watched this, I was like, what's the thing that they're pushing with this movie? I think the closest thing I think of is like Doctor Strange, where they say, look at this fucking wacky ass CGI where the world's flipping and bending, and that's why you're gonna go watch this movie with your friends at a Hollywood grill.
The cynic in me says that the thing they're going to push is the diverse cast.
Maybe.
I mean,
I could also see
I don't-
them pushing, like, this is the lore dump movie.
Because I remember that being a thing that a lot of people were commenting on after they had their reveal at D20 or whatever the fuck, at D24.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. So what I think is going to happen, I mean, they haven't like directly said it, but they do split up at some points, and I think they all go to their different areas of Earth. So they all fit with that region. in terms of ethnicity. Whether or not they like change their like ethnicity, or if they can, I don't know what their
I think they just
what their,
blend
like,
in.
chemical
They go and they
makeup
blend
is.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. So because they helped Earth like kickstart everything. That's the only thing I don't like about it, is the fact that like they kind of just helped humans kind of get going, and like it almost kind of devalues some of their
They tried
miracles,
to.
and I'm like, yeah, I don't really like that. But then it's like when humans have conflict with each other, they're not allowed to touch anything. So it's like, what happens when you create a mess and then you can't
Well,
step
that's-
in and save the day or change things from happening?
That's their kind of weak justification for why we're just now seeing them.
Yes. Yeah, they
'Cause
were
they say
banned
that-
by the Celestials to interfere with conflict.
Unless it involves deviance, which is
Technically, I mean,
I'm
Thanos
like-
is supposed to be half deviant. He has
yes,
a deviant
that's
gene,
true.
which is like,
Um,
okay, then fucking step in, Nimrods.
Yeah, never, because they're hunting deviants.
Yes, there's that, and the fact that it's just like a very lazy way to hand wave away the major criticism of doing this movie now.
I mean, at least they're going to address it,
Yeah,
because
but
I mean, directly.
I
in
mean,
this
if that's
trailer-
if that's all the addressing,
You're missing
they
the
do.
point.
I hope not.
you're
That's
missing the
still
point
kinda-
in that Thanos can't have been a deviant because he looked like a dude. He didn't look like an uncommon creature from Ikoria.
Yeah.
I think he's a
I have
like
a joke
I saw
in
a
my
dinosaur
Jungle
cat
Cruise
in there.
notes.
You know.
Yep. I saw
Maybe
dinosaur
a
cat. I
nightmare
saw
elemental?
Bird, yeah, I saw bird, wolf, dinosaur. So I'm gonna get the three creature typing.
I had a note in my Jungle Cruise notes that said the tree folk look much different on Exelon.
That was about the long. I saw it. I'm like, yep.
No, my mind started spinning with if they did like a MTG Secret Lair Jungle Cruise crossover,
They would just be Exelon again.
and then like one of the conquistadors was the fucking whatever main
But
villain.
who would
of
the
this,
Rock
and
be?
The Rock was in there. I don't know, Jace,
And
some shit.
it would be that and the fucking Candyman remake cross promotion.
Yeah.
Did not expect that in the Jungle Cruise movie.
Yeah, so there's gonna be some really cool visuals and some really cool powers that we see in this. Whether or not
Right.
it's like it's enough to sell the movie, there's gonna have to be a good story to this.
I'm going to
Well, I
poach this
think
for
they're
wallpapers.
counting on them.
That's what I'm doing. I'm poaching it for 4K wallpapers.
Yes. Yeah, 4K wallpaper. That's what they're gonna be. It's their main export of this movie, and toys. A lot of these monsters look like they're setting up for some Legos. I see some nice Lego sets in the future.
Get your glowy, like
Yeah.
your clear plastic with LEDs embedded,
Yeah.
glowy weapons. Oh yeah,
A lot of glowy weapons.
decals.
What was the one thing they pushed? I forgot. They like said award-winning.
director.
Oh, the director.
the director
I guess
special. Who's the special?
one.
Yeah, Chloe Zhao. Academy Award-winning director Chloe Zhao.
What
What
movie
the hell
you
did
win
she
for?
direct?
Oh, is this a chick? Where...
Actually, you know what Academy Award was it?
She
okay, so
Was
I
it
think
Best Director? Because if it wasn't, then like, what do
got
I
the
care?
Academy Award
I
for
think-
best title design.
yeah. So I think this is the director that
Oh,
they,
Nomadland.
Oh.
They
Yes.
waited for her to win an award before they released the trailer so they could add on Academy Award-winning director.
She is
course. I mean,
Chinese.
I would almost, if you wanted to go real conspiracy on this, you know, you could be like, did they bankroll Nomadland just so they could get her an award so they can pull her in to get the award thing on Eternals?
If Disney could guarantee an award, I think they would have won a few more.
True.
She hasn't done a whole lot too, which is
No, she only has like 1,
Kinda
2, 3,
concerning.
4, 5, 6,
Well-
7, 8, including Internals director's
This is
credits.
what
Yeah, she's
we'll
got
call the
8 credits.
Jay Bauman principle, because he harps on it all the time, where they take the new director who's doesn't have too many movies under the belt, and you sweep him up so that the studio execs can direct them and have power over them, so they can work for.
Well, like, keep an eye on the guy who did Pig, because that was, I believe, his first movie.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got Michael Sarnowski. Remember that name, because I think that guy's going
Yeah.
places.
Yeah, I could definitely see him getting picked for the next big thing or whatever. Partnering with Martin Scorsese, the director of
Well,
Pig.
I hope he doesn't sell his soul to a big movie studio. That would be a little disappointing.
Oh, I hope he does. I hope he just drowns his talent and
Only
just pools of money.
Only if it's a Superman movie with Nick Cage as Superman.
Don't get my.
But
hopes
it's
up.
like a Birdman thing,
Mm-hmm.
where like he's not actually Superman, or he used to be Superman, and now he's just like trying to live his normal
It's
life.
the story of him, his audition for Superman and getting ready for it, and then they just go through it, and it's really sad, and he thinks he's actually Superman.
I could see that.
I can get behind that.
So that's coming next year.
It's a believable story that the Cage snaps one day and thinks he's Superman.
Just which flavor of insanity is it this week?
True.
So
Speaking of insanity,
the voyeurs, the wires.
What
oh, that's not
Oh,
where
okay.
I was going, but okay.
the
Is
Voyeurs?
that a new trailer? Did we not talk about that
Yes,
one?
that is a new trailer.
Yeah,
But it's a very
The Voyeurs.
it's a very played out genre, I'd say. The genre of looking through someone else's window. Which
I swear to Christ, this movie came out.
maybe it got released
It's-
once on Prime Video and then got taken down because it wasn't finished or something. I don't know.
or released at whatever festival and now it's on Prime.
Oh, it could be, yeah. Because this is an Amazon Prime movie about a couple who realize they can see their neighbors from their building.
And then they
Like,
get
see into their
their sexy
and then they watch them
lives.
fuck,
Yep.
and then they watch them kiss, and then he watches the boyfriend cheat, and they're like, let's go more. Let's introduce ourselves.
Wacky hijinks ensue. When they
Yep, breaking into their apartment or some shit, or,
Oh, I'm
or
sure
spying
it's
on
gonna
them.
get a little more intense than just wacky hijinks. They're gonna pull Disturbia.
Yeah, it really seems like that because he's asking to take pictures of her, and it's probably going to turn around where the couple they're watching was actually probably stalking them.
Mhm.
They're gonna try to do something they think is clever with it. Whether or not it actually ends up being clever or ends up being stupid, we'll see.
Twists are never stupid. Didn't you see Old? That twist, I never saw it coming.
I never saw it.
I never saw it.
See, the thing about a good twist is that there should be some clues
Or it should be
so
like
that you could potentially
congruent with the rest of the movie.
Yes. Like, I mean, if you just have like a random thing happen, like say your protagonist is a 400-year-old fucking unkillable abomination.
Yeah.
If you just throw that in the middle of your movie with nothing like hinting towards it, really, it's not really so much a twist as it is just a hard swerve.
Just a hot drop of bullshit just plopping in your lap.
I thought they were just going to go with, oh, he's crippled the rest of the movie, actually. After
We'll
falling
get
from
there.
a 2-story tree.
In slow motion.
I have words.
Do I have things to say about
Words
this
about
movie?
that.
I have words for this movie.
All right, what was your thing, Kurt?
The Star Wars Visions.
Oh.
Wait, what did you call it before that?
Insane?
Insane. Oh, yeah. Well, it's a little insane. But I like insane.
Well,
I like insane in my anime.
what they did was
Bet you
they
do, you
hired
fucking weeb.
all the anime studios in Japan and pushed out all our favorite animes by another 6 months.
Weebs are enraged. kind of happy but enraged.
Except for whatever the Daisuke no Jutsu, whatever that one was that was hot for a little bit, whatever. And they're like, here, make Star Wars content. Connect to the Japanese audience and the American weeb audience. Do it.
The cool thing about this is so there's gonna be 9 episodes. It is gonna start airing September 22nd, and some of the studios that are involved with it are pretty good.
I saw Ghibli.
Well, it's a production company. So this has a production company, but it doesn't have.
Aren't Disney and Ghibli in bed
Yeah.
together? Yeah.
Wait. The production company doesn't mean.
My
the
fear with
studio.
this, I don't know. I guess if they turn out to be that good, then maybe it's not really a fear so much as I don't know. I just have this sneaking suspicion that like all the weebs are gonna push for like the weird Fox girl character as like being super popular, and it's going to trick Disney into awkwardly shoehorning it into another unrelated Star Wars project.
Well,
It's
yeah,
called
that's
the anime
one
furry
thing-
backdoor. Not to be confused with the furry backdoor anime.
The interesting thing about this is it does kind of feel like it's a big audition between all the studios to see who can make the most popular short. And then maybe the lucky winner, the couple lucky winners, actually get like a mini series or like a full length series based off of that. Because these are supposedly going to be just mini short stories. I don't know if they'll overlap or not. That's not I have
Like
no
the
idea.
Animatrix.
And then each of the studios are making a different like kind of episode. A couple of them double up. But you have ones that are resemblant of Samurai Champloo, Full Metal Alchemist. You got Studio Ghibli type episodes, and then you have some kind of very out there kind of episodes where it's very like sort of hand drawn, something you would almost see out of like a comic, very hard edges. And maybe not as smooth as you would think an anime to be.
I'm looking at some of the studios that are in on this, and you have the big heavy hitters like IG and Trigger. You might like this one though, Jake. I guess the first episode is made by Kamikaze Doga, which is the Demon Slayer Hunter studio.
Yeah. Very good. I'm curious as to the one that had like the very like hand drawn, sketched almost kind of animation. I wonder which one that one was. Maybe Geno?
Could be.
It'll be interesting. So it looks like a very neat take on Star Wars. They're going to do some really far out there ideas.
Yeah.
Especially with the lightsabers. They're taking a lot of liberties on the lightsabers. Like,
Yeah. You just let it loose.
there's
like,
going to
I'm-
be some hardcore fans that
don't-
are going to be mad.
I have an issue with this, so long as it like stays in its own space.
This is canon.
Like I don't want this to be canonized
This is
in
canon.
any meaningful way.
So this is, I think, the closest we're going to get at Disney's kind of interpretation of Star Wars Legends, bringing that really into the canon universe. It depends on what they do with High Republic, but this is what they're going for. I think this is their Legends that they decanonize.
They're gonna
and said,
recanonize.
Okay, all the people with the crazy lightsabers, the lightsaber whips that they had, etc.
All the dumb gimmicks to sell toys.
They're gonna make more dumb gimmicks on lightsabers to sell more toys in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting.
I mean, I think the lightsaber is a gimmick enough to sell itself. God damn it!
No, we need Umbrella Saber. Behold.
No, Umbrella Saber, more Umbrella
And
Saber.
behold, your new god. The new god of Star Wars.
God, Jesus Christ. Why does she have a power indicator on her
She's got a
eyeball?
fucking scouter on.
Why does she have a scouter? Was that in the trailer? I don't remember seeing that.
Jesus,
I don't know.
I'm so happy. I want more.
Studio Trigger shit where it's just off the wall insane. You have Oldest Man Sith, where he's just an old man. You have Little Cute Robot Boy. And then you have whatever the fuck CG and hard black and white edges. Oh yeah. I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate that they're gonna try and they're just gonna fucking shoot the moon. Cause yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah. I mean, even if I try to shit on this, I'm still gonna watch it. So
I'll give it a peek.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one thing is that, like, if you don't like one episode, maybe another episode will have a style.
Visually, it looks interesting. I'm not going to say that it doesn't have visual appeal. And we'll see what the rest of it is, if it's worth anything. Yeah, like I said, I don't have a huge problem with this as long as they don't try to, like, overwrite anything significant in the canon with this.
Yeah, the one thing I'm a little concerned with, because there was an episode where it looks like she has the Darksaber, and I'm like, this particular item has been like tracked, like nobody's fucking business over the years of canon.
It's got like a Bitcoin
Star
hash
Wars.
behind it.
So if you're gonna try to bring the Darksaber and say this is canon, you better have a good goddamn reason to where it is and how it got there. Now I don't want no Luke Skywalker. Here's his saber that he dropped from Cloud City just out of nowhere. I want fucking explanations because I don't want to watch 6 YouTube videos on
That's
people
a story
theorizing
for
how it
another
got
time. You never fucking told the story.
It's already started.
No, this is the story. I hope.
It's already started. Time
Sure.
for the speculation.
Oh yeah, speculation out the wazoo. But is it canon? Doesn't matter. That's another thing. It doesn't even matter if it's canon, because if these are isolated episodes,
that's like what I said. Like if it's its own thing, it's telling its own story about its own period in time and its own corner of the galaxy. No, it doesn't matter. But if it like overwrites, I'm always worried because Disney, they like the meddle, they like to change things and overwrite parts of the canon that I enjoy. So I'm always worried about these sort of things. So if they're like, oh yeah, this happened instead of Knights of the Old Republic, I'm going to be upset.
But I'm kind of happy that they're doing something that's like by itself. That doesn't have major implications to the. I mean, assuming there isn't major implications. It's not. We're not going to be following the Luke and Leia story.
I think that's why The Mandalorian is good, because it's a smaller scale story. Like you don't have the fate of the galaxy riding on it, which is, that's fine for the big movies, but not every story needs that high of a stake. It's exhausting.
Yeah, which is what Clone Wars got into a little bit. Like every now and then it was. They had to stop the next big Death Star to, get the funding or get the, mine the kyber crystals. So they got to do little subsequent missions to save the galaxy.
Were there episodes of Galactic Senate committees petitioning the Ways and Means
I wish there weren't.
committee?
It's what we call filler
Galactic
episodes.
Subcommittee on Exhaust Ports.
Thank you, Padme.
On Ways and Means.
Thank you,
You
Padme.
want us to allocate 20 billion credits for what?
Unfortunately, they usually consisted of Padme and Jar Jar Binks running around some fucking planet relying on a droid to save them.
Jar Jar Binks, the character that was so popular, they made him a fucking senator who cast a deciding vote to end the Republic.
Darth Jar Jar still a thing. Confirmed.
I say Jar Jar is worse than the Sith, because the Sith needed the Force to be evil. to enact their evil powers. Jar Jar just needed to. He didn't need the Force. He ended the Empire all on his own. With the famous last words of democracy, Dello Felicans.
Dello Felicans. I love it.
Oh, gracious.
Yeah, man.
Like, I get that he was a war hero and everything, but really, Gungans, you didn't have anyone else to elect to the Senate as your representation.
Don't you know war hero means competent? In politics, that is.
But his whole fucking thing was that he just Mr. Magoo'd his way through the fucking battle.
Jar Jar Binks was the John McCain.
Wait, is Jar Jar Binks a
Of the Star
diversity
Wars
hire with stolen valor?
I'm not saying he isn't.
The
Tell me
diversity
the
hire with
difference between
stolen
Jar Jar
valor
Binks
recruited
and-
by the fascist
John-
faction of the Senate?
Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying that you can connect the dots pretty easily. You don't
Darth
need to have a whole lot of
Anonymous.
lead in your pencil.
These are some interesting conspiracy theories from Darth Anonymous. Dianon.
D drops.
The high senators of the Republic are actually
Release the
pedophiles.
Snorlax.
I just imagine the Jedi Council on Star Chan.
We're releasing
just,
the
looking
Snorlax
at the
today.
fucking our unknown source. It's telling us where the separatist leaders are.
The Jedi Council is injecting themselves with adrenochrome to increase their force powers.
They're harvesting our kids for
midichlorians.
midichlorians.
That's why they want all these
It's
younglings.
Bantha-gate.
Whatever,
It's an
done.
evil cabal under the Mos Eisley Cantina.
I mean, in the Star Wars universe, there are plenty of evil cabals that probably have representation in the Republic Senate. Let's be honest here.
I heard it from a very trustworthy source while playing Pazak.
Playing some Pazak on Telos. Telos Station, actually. You can't be on Telos anymore after the Sith bombed it.
That's some good shit. I want to see that. I want to see some
Holy crap.
Dianon. Some Dianon conspiracies.
Disney, get in touch with our people.
Yeah.
Talk to Blumhouse.
As we move on.
They know how to get in touch with us.
Star Wars Vision Season 2. We want an episode. Just give us an episode.
None of us can draw, but oh boy, will we write you.
Oh, I can draw.
We know
Have you seen
we
my
know the
book
best
of minis?
animators on Fiverr. Look at the
I've been batting around the idea of like starting a voiceover gig on Fiverr.
We can do a Shrek Retold episode of Visions.
yes. Everyone animates 5
Only
seconds.
low effort content.
Yeah, only low effort.
Oh.
Um,
And speaking of
What
low
else?
effort, that's it.
That's it.
That's trailers.
We did it.
in a week with 3 trailers, we still managed to spend almost 40 minutes on Trae Watch. Or spend 40 minutes on the show until we get to the follow-up. And we're following it up with the #1 movie in America this week from 20th Century Studios, formerly known as 20th Century Fox, currently known as Walt Disney Shell Company number 5. It's Free Guy.
Is it really #1 this
Did
week?
it. Yeah,
It
he
is.
came out with
Did
it.
it?
Made
The
28
official
point-
trailer only came out 1 year ago.
God, this movie has been taking forever to come out, hasn't it? Well, let's find out if it was worth the wait. And to do that, we will be spotlighting Free Guy here. Every week we take a look at one movie and see how it's doing with critics and with the people. It has a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb. That's a pretty high score. Higher than I think Suicide Squad was. 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. Again, pretty high score. 64% on Metacritic. We all know Rotten Tomatoes is a shill for Disney, so you can't trust a damn word they say. And I don't know where the allegiances lie on some of these other platforms.
So we got to contact the
but
real
I
free
do
guys.
know. Yes,
These
the
are
real free.
The freest of guys.
These are the real NPCs of the world. Seeing movies and writing reviews that I gotta imagine we make up like 10% of the readership of IMDb reviews. Gotta figure there's only like 30 guys
We're one of
doing
the
it, right?
we're content pioneers on the IMDb user review platform.
Honestly, yes. I don't think anyone has ever made a recurring segment on a audio-visual media piece based around IMDb user reviews. I'm fairly confident that we're the first in that very specific category. But that's how you got to set Guinness World Records. You don't have to do something very hard, just something very specific.
Specific that no one else cares about. And what do these guys care about? Who cares about this
Well,
movie?
they care about Free Guy. We have Step Farugia, Farrugia, Fairr. Yep, it's one of those words. Free Guy. This was great. This was the best week ever. New paragraph. First, we got Suicide Squad, which rocked. Actually, it's the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad sucked.
Yeah, Suicide Squad, terrible.
That was all right. New paragraph. Now we have this. New paragraph. Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds in ellipses, 4-period ellipses. The Truman Show / Ready Player One / Lego Movie. New paragraph. Yes, it was a combination of those three movies. Made so delightful. Most people would need to change their underpants in delight. New paragraph. Cheesy ? Cheeky ? Reynolds. Long live dude. Everything is awesome. I'm sorry. Everything is awesome!
Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
Wakiki spelt incorrectly. 4-period ellipses. Epic. Watch it! I can't write. It was so good. Watch it.
Wow.
1 out of 6 found it helpful.
Poetry. This is why we go to these people.
It is an epic poem. It's in stanzic structure.
Yeah.
We learned about this the other week on the show. See, this is an educational show. You think we're just idiots sticking around talking about movies and video games.
Poetry.
But
no.
Yeah, I would read this as slam poetry. Oh, hell
okay,
yeah.
now
Yeah,
I have to warn
yes.
everybody. What the fuck?
Content advisory.
I did not ask you to wake up. I have to warn everybody. This has spoilers in it. It's only 2 sentences long. And this is why I go to user reviews to get
What did
my
they just say? The movie
fresh-
ends like this.
This is where I go to get my fresh, juicy reviews. 1 out of 10 by Jennifer 41371. Has anyone in Hollywood ever worked in a bank? Warning spoilers. Had to stop after 2 minutes. Working in banking for 20 years. No one is left alone in the safe deposit box vault. Even in the 60s. 2 out of 25 found that helpful.
What?
Why add that Why
Fuck
are the
this movie.
60s relevant?
Even in the 60s. Yet he's only been working in banking for 20 years. Yet they know the banking system in the 60s.
His mentor.
Yeah. His mentor couldn't shut up about the banking in the 60s.
I meant back in the 60s, man, you could get away with everything, but you could never go into the safety deposit box vault alone.
You want to go in the safe deposit box vault? You gotta have somebody with you.
That was like a line from The Mask. I heard Jim Carrey
He
rolling that off
started
in my
started with a bad Marlon Brando impression, and then he shifted to Al Pacino. So he stayed on Godfather the entire time.
I'm just doing a mix. It's like a whole gabagool of Godfather Italian. You want to go?
Paisan hands.
You
eh?
talking to me? You want to go in the safety deposit box vote? You're gonna have an escort, huh?
Put you in the unsafety deposit box.
Buddy system. Here's the bathroom pass.
Oh,
You must carry around this green plastic thing like a badge of shame.
Now I'm gonna open up your safe deposit box. I want to watch you open it. Cause I got my eyes on you. Wachowski.
always watching.
Wazowski.
Yeah, Wachowski's.
Wachowski, Mike Wazowski's cousin. Yeah, what's the
The Wachowskis.
Poland. Yeah.
The Matrix people.
Wazowskis and the Wachowskis, you know, they're cousins. They're friendly. You know, they're a couple Polish
Because
buddies.
their names sound similar.
Yes.
So y'all have the fun ones. I was hard pressed to find like the deranged comments in the middle. They're all pretty cogent. So I guess we'll actually learn what
That's
this
why we
movie's
give
like.
them to you, because you're deranged. So we get the injection there.
From Iago Lives Forever. They've got a 5 out of 10 here. Half good, half bad. And this is perfectly balanced, as all reviews should be. Pros: 1. Ryan Reynolds is fun and funny as always. 2. Lots of great jokes and pop culture references. 3. An interesting concept. 4. Great climax. 5. Fun action scenes. Cons: 1. Pretty much everything to do with the real world characters is boring and badly written. 2. Taika Waititi's character is the most annoying human being in the history of the universe. 3. The real world characters talk like they're in a bad Law and Order episode. 4. The real world scenes feel like they were written by people who don't play video games and have a less than basic understanding of gamer culture. And 5. There were some moments that felt ridiculous and unrealistic, even for a movie like this. 31 out of 60. Okay, that's our quota for real reviews. That's out of the way.
I was trying to recreate how every person interviewed in the Law and Order episodes, they're always putting boxes away. I understand it's from a comedy bit. I don't remember exactly who wrote it.
John
originally.
Mulaney.
There's a Mulaney. Yeah, maybe I seen him come over here once or twice.
That sounds like John Mulaney. My understanding of his life is he just sits and watches Law and Order for 8 hours every day and then writes a joke about it in the evening.
About
that was part of his rehab program. It was like, all right, we're gonna let you. If you don't do any of this, we'll let you watch more Law and Order. You get your fill of iced tea, and producer Dick Wolf, and it'll all be good.
Hey, you know John Mulaney chuckles every time the producer comes over and it's Dick Wolf, and he's like, ha, Dick
Wolf.
And then he's like, oh, my favorite character, Ice-T. You mean to tell me that this little girl was raped? Yes, you're in the Special Victims Unit, Ice-T. Come on. What do you want to know?
I have a carafe of iced tea in my fridge. That's not related to anything.
Carafe?
But it's...
Well, maybe it's Ice-T. Ice-T's in there.
It's just he's like a genie in a bottle, you know.
Yeah, rub it 3 times. Maybe
Have you seen his fucking kid?
No.
What? He is they let him have children?
What? Yeah.
Ice-T.
It looks
I've
a
never
lot
had
like
cause
daughter?
to find his child.
some strong yes, daughter. Some strong genes in that family, I'll tell you that right now.
Oh yeah, because he's married to Coco.
Yes.
Ice-T and daughter channel. Oh.
Wait, I'm confused because you said daughter channel. Now, was that like a mispronunciation of her name, or is that like her YouTube channel?
No, mispronunciation of her name because her name is Chanel, I believe.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Oh, Coco. I thought you were talking about the kid.
But yeah, look at the kid and how
No, the kid's name is
Show me
Chanel, I believe.
show me the child. Nourish the child.
Here's child and wife.
Yeah. Who does the kid look like? Alarmingly so.
God. Oh, thank you, website, for knowing exactly why I Googled Ice-T daughter. It knew I wanted to compare. Look, we know she looks like Ice-T.
But that's like, you'd be hard pressed if he had a son that looked that much like him. Like that
I
poor
wish he had a
girl.
son. Does he have maybe just
All I know is
maybe
that
just
Jake is on a
assume
list
that
now.
Ice-T daughter?
I mean, he's been on that list for ages.
Wait, he does
Just
have a son, I
re-ups.
think.
It's so creepy.
Yeah, he does have a son. His son doesn't really look like him, though. There's a little bit. There's a little bit in his,
That is
I don't know, fucking mouth or something.
that is a
Nose.
wild difference.
That's a little bit different, yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that kid's from a different baby mama.
I
Why? Why would you
I
say
won't
that?
comment.
Because I think he's only been married to Coco for like 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, this
and that
kid's
kid's
like
in his
30.
30s.
This kid has a career. The other one is a baby.
That man's got a W-2. JP91 has a W-2 job on IMDb reviewing the movies. He's got a 10 out of 10 review for Free Guy. And he says it's touching and funny film. Exclamation mark, so you know he's serious. I never thought that a romantic comedy movie would make me feel deep things and even question myself about actions in my life, eh? That movie is Free Guy. Such a weird sentence. A film it's not even done yet. A film that that begins like any other, but like its characters, it evolves. The performances are fabulous, especially Ryan Reynolds' acting. The effects and computer animations are incredible. I've always been negative with CGI, but in this production, it is perfect. Including the 3D effects that are quite realistic. Finally, as I mentioned before, the best thing is its script. I don't think he ever mentioned that, did he? With round characters and situations. Get out of your comfort zone. Live, be yourself without harming others. Free Guy? It's a touching film. Much more than a production focused on the Game Republic. It is a film with heart. 19 out of 34 found it helpful. What the fuck is a round character?
Round character.
I think maybe
just
I
round.
think they're trying to go with well-rounded,
Spherical.
but they just got lost and they're like the shapes.
Globular.
What about a
The
square?
best thing
a
is its
square
script.
character. A square
With round characters and situations. So you have round characters finding themselves in round situations. JP91, what the fuck does this mean?
What cipher are you putting in front of us?
It's like, have you ever seen Law and Order? That character, Ice-T. He's a T-shaped character. You know? He's T-shaped.
You need to go to
He's
Dan Harmon and
round
pitch
shaped.
that years ago. You also
Yeah,
need
I
to
know.
go
It's
back in
a little
time.
bit of a Morty. I know. A little bit of a Morty thing. And you got the Ice Cube, who's actually a cube of ice. All right. Anyways.
Well, wait,
One
did
out of
Jake not
10.
see that episode?
What? What? Rick and
Yeah,
Morty?
where Ice-T was.
Or-
He was Ice-T, and then he had to save.
Yeah.
What was that? They fought like the Numerons, and he became Water T again.
Yes.
Regained his throne.
I remember that. That's an old one.
That's an old one. Yep. And then we have one from Movie Man 6413
What?
929.
Are you just gonna skip over me like I'm
I-
fucking chopped liver?
I was, but now I'm not because you interrupted me.
Wait your
Call him out
fucking
on his
turn over
bullshit. He
here.
was
It,
hoping
you know what
wouldn't
that
notice.
is? That's a 1 out of 10.
That's
From Bass
a
Player.
1 out of 10.
It's either bass player blues or bass player blues. Either way, the title of his review, insulting, incoherent mess.
I'm going to go out on a limb and think it's bass.
Bass player blues because he fishes, he plays, and he's blue. This movie displays everything I hate about modern Hollywood. Ellipses. From the moment it begins, absolutely everything you see or hear on screen is 100% determined by focus groups trying to please everyone. Paint by numbers style versus actual artistic ingenuity or originality. There's zero attempt to establish any sort of backstory for the characters. Instead, just shove a bunch of loud CGI down your throat right off the bat and familiar popular music as a cheap way to win over general audience. Nothing surprises you at all. They got Reynolds copying Jim Carrey's blissful cheerfulness from The Truman Show. The actor who plays his best friend just copies Kevin Hart verbatim because everyone likes Kevin Hart and he's in all the movies. That was in quotes. Even the main actress's performance sounds exactly like Ellen Page, now Elliot Page, from Inception. The video game world they created doesn't feel fun and surreal like it should. Just seems like a real life with a bunch of glowing power-up items, an occasional tank lurking about a la GTA. It can be
that
pretty...
the idea?
Yeah, I think it is. It can be pretty at times, but mostly comes across as hollow and heartless. I have nothing against good popcorn guilty pleasure flick, but this sort of movie is the worst of both worlds. Dumbed down plastic garbage with the appalling audacity, hey, I use that, to pass itself off as something groundbreaking. It does this with zero continuity as well. After 15 straight minutes of mind-numbing CGI action scenes, they have the audacity, okay, you use that again, to preach some flat side plot about business integrity and innovation on top of the way too much of a runtime. That's weird. On top of that way too much of the runtime is dedicated to a generic rom-com style side plot which feels forced, distracts from the main premise, which is completely non-existent to begin with. 1 out of 5. He bungled it in the end. He was going good right up until the end when he said distracts from the main premise, which was completely non-existent to begin with. So there is no premise, or there is a premise. You contradict yourself.
I feel like he maybe stumbled out of the blocks and never quite gained footing.
I think he stumbled out of that bar after playing some bass blues.
I appreciate your genuine concern that he used the word audacity twice.
I was thinking he was going to use it 3 times. And that will summon the digital audio workspace onto your desktop.
Yeah, he made sure he made sure to avoid that after his last review.
That's how you installed on Linux. You just shout into your microphone, audacity, audacity, audacity.
Be careful.
Just comes on and overwrites whatever. I don't know. Sorry. So I almost cut you off, Jay, because if I don't get this guy's review going off quick enough, they're gonna go to the next one. Because this guy, Movie Man 6413929 which may or may not be a phone number in the area code for Iowa, for Mason City, Iowa. Maybe don't call that number, please.
Why did you look that up?
We're not liable if you call that number. This person has spent the last 9 years, and I think they've just been locked in a theater. They haven't seen the outside world. They've dedicated their life like a monk in solitude to watching movies. They have almost 200 reviews on their account in these 9 years, and piles of IMDb medals. And that I think you'll see the effects of such long cinematic isolation on a person in the content for this review. Because we'll start off, after all the reviews we've heard, the title here is Entertaining Movie for Gamers. So, all right.
That's funny, but I didn't recognize who Pokimane was. And when I clicked on it, also searched for in the Free Guy cast is Aaron W. Reed, who plays a character simply called Dude. And that made me laugh.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was a bunch of cameos from
Minor celebrities. Ooh, Alex
different
Trebek
Twitch
was in it?
streamers.
That's sad.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
All right.
Hit us with this professional reviewer who survived on saltines and the moisture on the back of envelopes for 45 years.
It's reduced to like the core of what a review is here. It's been distilled down to 95% pure review. Free Guy is a new action comedy directed by Sean Levy, the director of Real Steel and the Night at the Museum trilogy. The film is set in the open-world video game Free City, where non-player character Guy, Ryan Reynolds, acts like a computer program every day. When he meets the gamer Molotov girl, Jodie Comer, he falls in love with her, and to follow her, he goes against his computer program. He discovers that he is a computer program, and so decides to play the game in his own way, to have a chance at Molotov girl. He must do all of this before the head of the video game company, Antoine, Taika Waititi, tries to reset the game. This movie is entertaining for gamers, as the movie has many references and elements from video games. The film even features cameos from well-known internet gamers. For people who are not that familiar with video games, certain moments or objects can come across as unfamiliar, illogical moments. I think that's a personal experience. Illogical. Coins midair. Does not obey gravity.
010019. Oh, no.
The use of a green screen and CGI can be seen in the film, but because the film has to come across as a video game, they get away with it. Viewers expect to see a movie where it feels like you're watching a video game. There is no need to see the movie in 3D, as there are few good 3D effects or moments in the movie. Sean Levy had to portray the real and video game world in a different way, and also to visualize how the real-world characters see the images from the video game world. Most of the movie cast also doubles as their real-world character as well as their game world character. For example, some of the cast have to portray their one role in a different way than how they play their second role. Since Ryan Reynolds starts his character as a video game background character, the film tries to give actors who play more often background characters or more in TV series a chance to get a bigger role in this film. Ryan Reynolds himself was first known as an actor, as a TV actor from, for example, the TV series Two Guys and a Girl, before he broke through as a film actor. End of the review. 3 out of 6 found it helpful.
Well, it was
I told you it was pure review. Like there's no just the essence
it was a review.
of a review.
Yeah.
He reviewed the movie.
He did his job. That's why we go to these people.
In his deep like meditation, all personality was stripped away, and he became one with the review, one with IMDb, and ascended to pure cinema.
He's fused with the matrix of IMDb.
I will search this man out in future reviews to hear his 100% pure triple distilled review of any future movies.
They distilled over Herkimer diamonds?
Yes, I believe it.
Filtered through Dan Aykroyd.
Filtered over Dan Aykroyd?
Filtered through Dan Aykroyd. It's got to be through. That's how you get the highest purity, Jake. I don't make the rules.
I know, but I don't know if I'm strong enough yet.
Alrighty,
Nice.
so returning to the box office.
Shit, we still got that to do.
Yeah, Don't Breathe 2. opened in second place, somewhat ironically. $10.6 million for the sequel to Don't Breathe.
Probably made its money back, so.
Gotta imagine pretty close. Jungle Cruise fell a spot to number 3, $9.12 million, down 42.3%. Respect opened in fourth, not getting any respect at the box office, $8.8 million. Yes, it is an Aretha Franklin biopic, as it would have to be. Suicide Squad hemorrhages money at the box office.
Okay.
Down 71.5%, falling from first all the way to fifth, bringing in $7.47 million and opening in 17 more theaters.
More theaters, yeah. Jeez. Feels bad.
Yeah, not a great showing on the second week.
International numbers are doing pretty good, though. 75 million worldwide. Well, international at least. Not.
Yeah, I gotta
too
think. I mean, the opening weekend was all right, but I feel like they probably were hoping for more, and that is a precipitous drop.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh. You expect to see like what Jungle Cruise is getting is pretty standard. You know, dropping about maybe 50%, dropping a spot every week.
You
But,
maybe
damn.
attribute it to, like, it's the opposite of a kids movie, right? Where kids movies have long ass tails because kids don't have to care about the premiere. They'll see it when their parents are free to drive the kids to the theater to see it.
Yes.
But the opposite, and the kids will just see it again and again. But with an R-rated movie, it's all going to be adults who are like, I saw this, I retain the information because my brain is fully developed. I do not need to see it again for a while.
I don't know. I've met some of these adults of which you speak, and I'm not quite sure that their brains are fully developed.
You know, I too go around just being like, "Hi, I'm Jake, an adult with a fully developed brain," and then I forget everything they tell me, and I'm like, guess I'm.
I'll be young forever.
I have these 25-year-old Nirvana lyrics if you're interested in that.
Yeah. I can recite the Family Guy song.
Old falls 3 spots off the back of the mid-size sedan. Down 42.5%, 2.368. I'm surprised anyone saw that after we spoiled the twist on the show.
Yeah, right.
Black Widow's in 7th, $1.911 million, down 51.3%, out of 1,000 theaters. Stillwater falls from 5th to 8th in its third week, $1.295 million, down 54.2%. The Green Knight, down 55.2%, $1.16 million, good enough for number 9. Space Jam.
Damn, down 1,000 theaters. Jeez, they dumped it.
Yeah,
it might just be like, I'm thinking like they're just churning through movies because everyone's ready to bust their movie load all over the screens, so they can get premieres every week.
With the Delta variant, everyone's kind of like,
yeah, people are buckling down again, I think.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know if we talked about this, but I think A24 is planning on releasing the Green Knight on
vinyl,
a streaming service. No, that would be.
Are
cool.
they going to do it on our Oatmeal Records? Or Saturn Studs?
I think
they're
going to have
partner with A24 Films.
I think they're going to do something where they're going to release it on a streaming service for like one night only, and then you can like watch it for like that day or whatever.
Fucking indie shit. Just let people watch your movie.
It's just,
but it's like for premium. Like you pay to watch it.
So you can pay for one day availability to watch it.
So it's like, well, you have to pay for the streaming service, so I guess you're paying either way. It's just to capitalize on FOMO. It's the oldest marketing strategy in the
Well,
book.
I mean, like Kurt said, it wasn't out in a lot of theaters, so I think that was also another thing is that people kind of just missed it, and now that people have like kind of heard about it, it's sort of leaving theaters now, and maybe A24 is like, well, we get it, Delta variant's coming back up. You don't want to go out to the theaters, but we really want you guys to get a chance to watch it. So if you have to, try to stream it using however they release it.
I
I don't
feel
know what
like
they're gonna do.
their motives are probably more profit driven
Oh yeah, that too. I mean, just kind of squeeze whatever they can
than the
out of it.
humanitarian. Yeah, they're like one night only. People are like, oh shit, I gotta watch it tonight, man. It's
Yeah.
marketing 101. 10th is Space Jam New Legacy, $1.17 million. It's still in 1,800 theaters despite being dumped by 1,000. I mean, it hung in there, man. It made a decent chunk of change.
It'll hold until it breaks even.
Yeah. We ain't losing money on this. We're going to keep it in theaters until it fucking tanks, goddamn it.
Just want to give an honorable mention to the film opening in 47th. The East opened with a box office total of $46 at
In
two
two
theaters.
So,
Also,
two people.
shout
A
out to
total
the
of 4
meaning of
people
Hitler.
saw this movie.
Yeah.
The meaning.
The question we
I was
all
gonna say,
ask
this movie,
ourselves.
The movie The East was about a young Dutch soldier deployed to suppress post-World War II independent efforts. So both World War II movies, I guess, coming out.
To shamelessly rip off a joke from Strong Bad, it was not released at an art house theater. It was released at a guy named Art's house. It was a theater. He's got like 3 couches.
And his home theater. Yeah.
More like a outhouse.
Got him.
Oh wait, it made. Oh, yeah, I was gonna, wait. It made $23 per theater. But how many tickets did it sell? I like to imagine they just
I
you
would
buy the
assume,
one.
like,
It was 2
4.
people who watched that movie, and they each spent $23 on that.
I mean, it could well be, but
California prices.
I would say we're talking like a maximum of 5 people saw this movie.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at some of these.
Also, Raya and the Last Dragon is kind of like, well, I mean, other than that random incredible 25th year of Mitzi Bearclaw, but Raya and the Last Dragon, 24 weeks out in the open, at 10 theaters still, 90% drop from last week, $1,400. Like left all major studios or theaters rather.
Some of these ones at the bottom of the box office are strange. You got like
Mama
Mama
Weed?
Weed, Mandibles, John in the Hole. A coming-of-age psychological
What's that one
thriller that
about?
plays out the unsettling reality of a kid who holds his family captive in a hole in the ground.
Oh, that's not where I thought that was going.
Me either.
Wait, wasn't that an episode of fucking Goosebumps, or Are You Afraid of the Dark, where there's just like a hole that this kid kept like
Well, there was a bad.
tricking people to falling
There
into?
was a movie in the '60s called The Pit that was reviewed on Best of the Worst,
Oh, maybe that's what I'm
where
thinking of.
he pushes the grandma into the hole.
Yes, yes, that is what I'm thinking of. When you said John in the Hole, a coming of age psychological thriller, I'm like, is he like having paranoid visions of vaginas?
Stolen away.
That I'd watch that movie. That sounds interesting.
No. Oh god. Now I'm. Oh no. I'm just having.
Oh god, the cover art for The Pit looks horrifying. Is that the one in 1981?
That might be it.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yep. It's got the
Sure, it
weird
looks
kid.
like-
Yeah.
That's awful.
Sure was.
Right.
Is bad.
On to gaming news.
Yes. On to Oh wait, are they remaking it?
There was a
Pitt
2021
twin.
pit.
Les
Yeah.
Stroud.
But I don't know, because the guy seems older. While hiking in an isolated forest, survivalist Danny Coyle, Les Stroud, and an old army buddy, Aaron James, Stacy Brown Jr., become hopelessly trapped. When they fall into a deep, dark canote.
Yeah, I don't know what that one. Let's look that word
With
up.
steep walls and
Vocabulary.
Canote. Is it just a big hole?
Why wouldn't you just fucking call it a pit?
Yeah,
A
it's the pit.
a
It's called the
cenote,
pit.
I think,
Deep-
because it's a
Cenote.
natural pit or sinkhole resulting
Cenote.
from the collapse of limestone bedrock that exposes groundwater. It's specifically associated with the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico.
Yucatan.
It's those like
represent.
weird lagoon caves where there's like a pool in a hole in the ground. You know,
Yes, of course.
there's the Google sir.
Of course, we're all familiar.
Oh yeah.
A cenote.
Cenote. Yeah,
Um,
let's talk some video games. There's some
talk-
stuff.
Want to talk about the hype one today that came out? The well, did it come out today or did it come out yesterday? Maybe it came out yesterday. The Nintendo Direct.
What? Pokemon
For-
Arceus?
Pokemons, all the games that we're getting or have gotten or DLC for games like Pokemon Cafe Remix.
Now,
Ooh,
I don't know
boy.
what you
Nintendo
heard about that.
did their Indie World right after our cast last week. And the trailer for Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which is meant to emulate a game from 2004, is graphics just about on par with Pokemon Arceus.
What game is that?
Pokemon Legends Arceus?
No. The game from 2004.
Jet Set
'Cause,
Radio Future.
That came out in 01, I think.
Did I totally fucking flub that?
And then Jet Grind Radio, I think, was 99.
Fuck. Let me...
It was an Xbox launch title. I
Mm-hmm.
know that much. So it came out in 2001 at the latest.
2002.
What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
Game Freak is making Pokemon Legends
we're both
Arceus, and it's gonna look 1,000 times better than this piece of filth.
Was Jet Grind Radio 01 then? Is that where I got
It's
01
not gonna
from?
have any performance frame rate
2000.
issues.
I mean, you're off on all of them.
2000. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it,
They'll get a second
it don't
tree
look
model.
good.
Second model for the trees.
Yeah, for all the
Are
shit
we talking
people
about
talked
Cyberpunk
about
or Arceus?
Arceus. For all the shit people talked about Sword and Shield's trees. I mean, they must be having a field day with these trees.
I do appreciate that you can.
Or tree, I should say.
I appreciate that there is at least some commitment to using the Pokemon to traverse the land in a manner, like you can actually use your HMs in a real arena, which is kind of the big thing I want out of a open world Pokemon game. It's mostly just using terrain in Pokemon battles, which I guess is not going to happen.
All Pokemon games pretty much open world.
Kind of, but like
I mean, the world's not very big, but like you can pretty
Well,
much go.
they're like
places.
they force you on the linear pattern. The linear, you got to go through the 8 gyms.
Well, you could choose which way. You could choose left or right in Johto. You could
I guess what
What are you talking about? Bad trees? Come on, look at this tree. Trees have angles and polygons, just like in nature. Yeah, they got some polishing to do for it. But they are offering some interesting new features to it that are not like any other Pokemon game we've seen so far. We'll see how good they are. My concern is that the big thing is you have different style of moves you can do. You have strong style, agility style, and your speed is based into
yes, Kurt.
how many times you can go
You
in
can
a
use
row.
Kanto
Is
strong
Arceus
style.
the new king of? Yeah, is Arceus the new king of strong style?
Well, I'm just concerned that it's gonna be strong style is just the way to go every single time because you just kill him instantly or whatever. and you're never going to use agility style. Who knows if they balance it or not?
I don't know what that
We'll see
even
when it comes
means.
out.
I mean, Game Freak with balance issues couldn't be them.
No.
Especially with like new mechanics, especially when it comes to going twice in a row.
Oh, you can
So
double people in this?
Well, so what it is if your speed is high enough, or if you use a different style to like boost your speed, you can sometimes go twice in a row. It's more like an
It's like
initiative
Fire
order.
Emblem.
Yeah, they kind of show like, okay, in the review they had Lucario versus Gastrodon. So Gastrodon went first, then Lucario, then Gastrodon, then Lucario, and then Lucario again, then Gastrodon or whatever. I don't know how they set it up exactly. So we'll see if that, you can real time change the turn order
Yeah.
to benefit you. So like Lucario had one turn, but after he used Calm Mind in agility style, he got to go again. Which might seem broken.
Maybe, but this
Might
doesn't look
be
like it's
meh.
meant to be a multiplayer experience. So it can
No,
be as broken as it
definitely don't
wants.
think so.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, but if it's too
to an
broken and it's
extent,
easy to breeze through, then it's gonna be like Pokemon Let's Go, and it's gonna be bullshit.
How do
There
I get
has to
Stealth
be
Archer for my
So the other thing is
for
that
Pokemon?
finally blacking out is actually because you as a person took too much damage, because Pokemon can now attack you in the wild, and you'll take damage as you go along. And if you take too much damage, you'll fucking
is
die.
it still whited out in the text, or is that old school Pokemon?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it used to be whited out or something,
I
right?
don't-
Yeah,
I don't
remember
lose
that.
that
It was
often,
in
so I
Gen
don't
1
know.
for sure. When's the last time you even played a Pokemon game? Peter?
Long time ago. Galaxy far, far away.
I wonder if they showed it. I don't remember if they showed it actually. You're taking damage. The other cool thing is, so we found out the name of the region. You're in the Hisui region, which is ancient Sinnoh. And I guess that means there are regional variants that have died off because they're not around today. So we saw a couple of regional variants. We saw a rock type Growlithe that looks cute as shit, and there's going to be tons of
It
plushies
looks
of
like a
them.
Shisha.
Yeah, we saw a psychic Braviary. Not sure if the pre-evolution is going to be psychic type as well.
Rowlet.
Rowlet, yeah. We saw a evolution to Stantler, which is this region's, I guess, evolves a Stantler into a Weirdeer, which I believe is psychic normal, maybe. I don't know what the exact typing was. We have a evolution to Basculin, which I believe is going to be like Ghost Water.
I feel like that's something that should carry over into Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yes.
Because Basculin, it's like, yeah, this thing has good stats. I feel like if it evolved, it'd be really good, and then it just never evolved.
Yeah, it never did. It was kind of sad. Am I missing one? Bear with me. No, that's it, right?
Basculegion
Basculegion, yeah.
is an evolution of Unova's Basculin with a very dark backstory. It only evolves after being possessed by the souls of other Basculin that have perished while making the journey upstream.
Wait, is it like Legion is in the biblical demon horde Legion? Because that was about an animal
yeah,
that
I
was
think so.
possessed by a bunch of demons.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised because it also looks evil as shit.
it's Legion, like in Mass Effect, and
You're also going to be able to ride
fucking
a lot of these.
isn't there a
new
boss
Pokemon
called
too?
Legion in Castlevania?
Yes, which is a giant horde of bodies in a fucking
Yeah, it's
sphere.
a ball of people. Weirdeer is
it-
normal psychic.
Normal psychic, yeah. So it's very kind of one note, like it, or I don't know. These evolutions are very purposeful. Like you see, you're riding a Basculegion, you're flying with the new Braviary form, you're riding the new Weirdeer around the environment. So it's like Okay, well, did you just create these versions to
Is this screenshot from
for these new mechanics?
Is this screenshot from the Arceus game? Why is it
Yes.
like a motorcycle seat, like a fucking Harley rider, like for ancient Japanese Pokemon?
They invented handlebars back then.
Yeah, they fucking invented steam.
I feel like
Pokeballs.
I just prefer like a saddle,
Is it-
like a saddle and a a rope, a lead. You
Here's
could
the,
you could whip it like
full
it's a husky train, whatever those are.
full picture for context.
This is my favorite video ever.
Yeah, yes. I guess something happens at night where they get all.
Well, it's a full
I'm
moon.
gonna come fuck you up.
Yeah, they're gonna fuck you up. So it's kind of crazy. They're gonna come attack you. It's definitely putting the RPG into the Pokemon RPG games, where there's gonna be like crafting and there's gonna be quests you got to go back and forth to return to town and be like, oh, go out and accomplish this, do that, not just simply go defeat a bunch of badges and succeed on.
Most
They were very heavy-handed with the plot, though. So, Team Galaxy or Team Galactic, I don't remember what the fuck their name was. So the main characters that help you on the journey are definitely like descendants from the main characters of Diamond and Pearl. It's very obvious. It's right. It's in the fucking name. So, they kind of like gave
okay,
away the
chick?
plot right there.
See a little-
Again, it's like fucking Game Freak doesn't know how to tell a good story.
I thought Pokemon Black's story was pretty good.
Well, maybe that was the only one they got, but I think it would have been. It's a good idea to be like these are the remnants or the precursors to like Team Galactic or whatever, but like maybe hide it a little bit, you know, or at the end be like, okay, we're changing our name to Galaxy.
You're not allowed to have surprises anymore, Jake. Everyone wants everything spoiled for them by trailers so that when they play the game, they can be disappointed that nothing's new because they demanded everything be spoiled in the trailer.
But the thing is that this wouldn't even be like a spoiler. This is probably something that's revealed to you at the beginning of the fucking game, that you're playing with the precursors of the Galactic team. It's like, all right, whatever, sick. I get it.
Maybe they go an interesting way with the story.
maybe. I'm not too interested in the story.
Maybe there's a schism.
Oh, here's the Mr. Optimus Kurt that I've been schwitzing for. I schwitz for you.
That made me very uncomfortable.
I want some very specific things out of this game. One, I want the terrain to be a thing that you can interact with. Like, I want to be able to use Ice Beam on the water and turn it into ice.
I want Divinity Original Sin 2 levels of terrain
Yes!
interaction.
I want at night all the terrain is
What,
cursed.
what happens when I use Psychic Terrain or Psychic Surge when it's raining out? Who knows?
To the hands of God now.
Yeah, I want to be able to take the high ground, you know? I also want... this is very, very specific. When you find Mesprit and he runs, I want you to have to actually chase him. For the whole fight.
To the ends of the fucking map. And if you stop, he just takes off. And you have to wait however long
Until he
enough
runs back again.
to him.
You just see him coming at you on the horizon. All right.
Like fucking Lancelot
Yeah.
and Monty Python.
Yeah, we'll see if they bring like all the legendaries back into this. There were a couple temples that they went to, so I'm thinking maybe they
I can't
will.
wait to perfect parry the laser beams from the Regirocks and bounce the lasers back.
I hope that's a thing. I hope they give you like a shield or some shit where it's like, oh, you can now like parry the giant Ursaring that's coming after you.
You got a red parry because it's an airborne attack, and you need the 6 frames of frame advantage to link into your
Yeah.
crouching medium kick, standing roundhouse super combo.
See
And
this
the other
man
thing
main
from the Nintendo
sock.
Direct. The other thing that we saw from it was just more footage of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. It looks okay. It looks good. They're going back to chibi versions, and they're bringing back a lot of the stuff that they had in the original games. There was a story out a little while ago that they changed the rating of it to like, I don't know,
E10 plus.
something 7.
Oh,
Like it used to be 13 and over.
Oh, Peggy 7.
Yeah, it's something weird with that.
That's
because
Europe.
there was a gambling game in one of the corners
I was hoping they were gonna remove the
And-
Drifloon child abduction scenes. I don't know if there are any in. I forget if there are any in Diamond and Pearl, but
I think that might have been Platinum.
Platinum. I just, even though I want to see more Drifloon child abductions.
see more butts.
Oh, if it was in one of the games, it's Platinum. I know Drifloon's Pokedex entry talks about how it abducts children. So write the creepy pastas about Drifloon, not Hypno, you fucking freaks.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like a child abduction competition between some of the psychic and ghost types. Like how many children can you traumatize in a month?
Like if anyone fucking at the ratings board bothered to read the Pokedex entries, there's no way that these games would be rated E.
Wait, I have a great image I gotta find.
The Quake Remaster is now available, and it's even got the old Trent Reznor soundtrack. It dropped on Steam in the Microsoft Store for 10 hours today, Thursday, August 19th. Surprise! And if you already own Quake on Steam, you'll get the update for free. That's pretty neat. The Quake Remaster comes with 4K and widescreen resolution support, enhanced models, dynamic and colored lighting, anti-aliasing, depth of field, and a new song from Trent Reznor, who composed the original soundtrack, which itself was lost in licensing limbo for quite some time. What is this you've showed me, Peter? Why have you shown me this?
It's spooky.
I don't like that.
I mean, that's one word for it.
We'll all
yeah.
go watch Junji Ito. Go read all his best works. Get a little scare in your system.
Hard pass. Does it have the ray tracing, like the Quake 2 ray tracing demo? It has the original DLCs packs, Scourge of Armageddon, Dissolution of Eternity. Machine Games, the developers of the modern Wolfenstein games, contributed 2 entirely new expansion packs called Dimension of the Machine and Dimension of the Past. Does not mention ray tracing specifically, but I'm sure if I go to my NVIDIA driver page, it'll tell me that it's got a game-ready driver. No, it doesn't. It's not getting game-ready drivers. They even surprised NVIDIA. They hadn't have time. There's a report out that Google once considered teaming up with Tencent to buy Epic Games.
Okay.
When Epic publicly rejected Apple and Google's App Store terms and hit the sue 'em all button, that seemed like the beginning of the fight, but apparently the daggers have been drawn for a while. A Google exec went as far as to suggest settling a disagreement with Epic by making a deal with Tencent to wrest control of the company away from founder and CEO Tim Sweeney. Tencent, the Chinese conglomerate that owns Riot Games and pieces of many of other big developers. So that's right, all you League of Legends fans. If you're like, oh, fuck Tencent, I don't support Epic Games. Or I don't support the Epic Games Store because fuck Tencent, then you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. Well, Sweeney is the controlling shareholder. According to a court document filed by Epic today, an unnamed Google executive once suggested that if Epic didn't play nice, Google should talk to Tencent about buying some of its Epic shares to get more control over the Fortnite developer, or it could even work with Tencent to take over Epic entirely. Make them an offer they can't refuse. Intel XE super sampling was demoed at the Intel Architecture Day 2021 event, and it's gonna give Intel's DLSS a run for its money. It looks pretty good. It's really hard to tell in a YouTube video what kind of difference there is between these upsampling technologies,
Yeah.
be it FSR, DLSS, or now XESS. About an hour and two if it doesn't take you right there. And the thing with DLSS that I've noticed, and maybe it's just the specific game, but Control, when you have DLSS enabled, the hair looks really weird. And I noticed in Cyberpunk too, like when you have a close-up of a character model, it just doesn't look quite right with DLSS on.
It's a little funky.
Yeah. Like in the game, when you're out and moving, everything looks fine, looks good. Hard to tell the difference between native, but there are some moments where it just doesn't look right. So maybe if Intel XE super sampling can nail that down, it will be the superior technology. I like that everyone's getting in the super sampling game, though. I think it's good. It extends the life of older graphics cards. XE super sampling will be open source, much like AMD's FSR. One of the most significant differences is that it will work with any GPU, not just, I guess FSR. Actually, no, that would be the first one to work with any GPU if that's true. Because FSR only works on 10 series NVIDIA cards and newer, and AMD's, I don't think they're complete line. I think the SKU after, like the RX 580, which I think is the 5700 XT, whatever they're called, RX 5700, whatever it is. But it's all good. Intel also has their own GPUs that they're working on. The XE integrated graphics have been in laptops for a while, and now they're getting ready to launch their Alchemist video cards, which they believe will compete with NVIDIA and AMD, which I hope that's true. I don't particularly like Intel as a company too terribly much, but more competition is always good for the consumer.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
On the topic of Control, Remedy has announced that, well, not announced, but there's some suggestion now that after Remedy reacquired the rights to Alan Wake in 2019, that there would be a sequel in development. But it appeared, and now there's information that appears, Remedy said in the same message to their investor that they're working on a Remedy connected universe. Remedy has done Max Payne, Alan Wake, and Control as their three big games that most people would know. So that'd be very interesting to connect all those universes together. And that in the same message, they said they're in full production mode on their second, smaller scale unannounced game, which many believe will be in Alan Wake 2. They're also working on a Control co-op game as well as Control 2.
See.
I am like 2 hours into Control, so I can't quite comment on it. It's interesting so far.
It's got that trippy, surreal style that I like. Shapes.
And it's a very technically impressive game.
Mm-hmm.
So, data miners revealed a Escape from Tarkov-esque game mode for Battlefield 2042. So with Battlefield 2042 right on the horizon, the Hazard Zone mode is looking a lot like Escape from Tarkov, which is kind of interesting how they're going to make that work out. Because a lot of that was like, have you ever played Escape from Tarkov?
I have not.
Or seen it played? I fucking hate it.
I vaguely know it by name, but I don't think I've ever seen any gameplay footage of it.
It's like IRL. It's like real life. It's military sim. Like you got to load the bullets into your mag, or clip or whatever you're using. You got to load them in. Got to buy the individual bullets. There's different
One at a time.
types. Armor. It's so mind numbing. So you can go into a match, and if you like survive and get to the whatever checkpoint or whatever to escape, you get to get out with whatever you've looted. And that's how you like collect stuff. So it's like a collectathon by going into these maps and killing NPCs and other player characters and looting them while like possibly getting shot from.
So do you think it's
Across
just
the
going to be
map.
like a hardcore mode?
I think it's gonna be like a hardcore. It's probably gonna be something like a lootathon or something like that, where maybe they're not gonna go as hard as like you have to like load your stuff in yourself, but maybe they're going to be like you can collect guns or in-game currency or in-game stuff this way, and that's how you can like kit out maybe your other characters or something. I don't know.
Well, kids, ready to ruin your childhood? Because this indie developer, John Szymanski, I actually think I knew a John Szymanski at one point in my life. He's made he's previously worked on narratively quirky games like Kyle is Famous. He's got a new game coming out, My Friendly Neighborhood, which casts you as a local repairman who's tasked with figuring out why the old abandoned TV studio is suddenly broadcasting new signals. It's a pretty standard horror game setup there.
Walk around,
But
get a puppet
the
jump
hook
scare.
here, I guess, is that a lot of the horror goons are modeled after Sesame Street characters and other. I think I saw one that kind of looked like Krusty, so other like
Yeah, kid show
cartoon
things.
characters.
Can we-
Not that The Simpsons is a kid
Do
show.
we get the option to punch them like Wally's Wonderland? Well,
Oh, you can shoot them.
perfect.
Yeah, they're chasing you and they're coming after you, but you can shoot them with what looks like a.
Like bullets.
It's like you have a Rolodex of letters, and you just shoot letters at them.
I see.
Yeah,
And I think it teaches you the ABCs.
from some of the stills and the trailer, definitely looks like it's kind of Resident Evil inspired, and it's kind of like working off of the hook. It has a Steam page. It is listed as coming soon. No other timetable given.
Yep.
Yeah, when it comes out, we'll play on stream.
Do some horror shit. It's spooky up in here. Maybe Halloween. Halloween
powers.
times.
Spoopy doop.
Grab your pumpkin spice latte now live at Dunkin' Donuts.
I want to do it's like a
never
Halloween prank.
understand
You could do
fascination.
pumpkin spice, but the spice is chipotle peppers.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And
Chipotle.
it sounds hot. That's a hot pumpkin spiced latte. And then they scream and throw up their coffee. Very upsetting.
Did you see the Call of Duty Vanguard is the next place we're going to? World War II again. Could be about hunting down Hitler's successor. Cool.
Great.
I mean, they gotta keep.
Going
They
back to World War
gotta make a
II.
game every year.
I don't think.
There's
Why
no
haven't
room
they
for
like?
creativity.
I don't know. I guess that's Wolfenstein, but there's so much more alt history, like scenarios to be explored. I know the what if the Nazis one was the obvious one, but like, there's other ones. You can make them up. Do whatever you want.
Well, you can get like
That would require ideas.
yeah, and sometimes those original ideas get lambasted, like Homefront.
Mhm.
What if the Koreas united with China and invaded the U.S. and then no one really was into that game?
Or it could just be aliens. What if we just shot
sure.
aliens again? We just went Duke.
But didn't
What
they
went
do
Duke Nukem
space?
5?
Or what if
Duke Nukem 5 head.
I would say, or what if there was a Call of Duty where you went down on a jungle cruise, and you go through the Amazon and try to find Lost City of
the
Atlantis
Jungle
or some
Time
shit.
Crisis sequel. Like where you've
The
got
MacGuffin.
it's like they're on rails, but you're in the Jungle Cruise. Yeah. Why didn't
I would like that. I love Time Crisis. Time Crisis was my
on a separate
shit
note?
back in the
why-
arcade days.
Why didn't they get fucking Terry Crews for Jungle Cruise? This is
Dude, they missed
It's-
opportunity.
it's not, it's like they don't have any cruise control. Now that was a dad joke.
Yep.
That hurt me on an emotional level.
Jake's really getting into the Star Wars Visions spirit.
I'm so glad we're doing the video on this episode. Otherwise, that would just be dead air.
I'm really hoping that lightsaber got picked up by Audacity,
didn't.
but if it didn't,
Didn't.
so be it.
I mean,
Quiet as
well,
mouse.
we didn't hear it. But that doesn't
You just have
necessarily
to dub
mean
it in,
that
Jake. That's all you got to do.
Because I never hear Peter's keyboard
Here,
on the call.
Here, clip this.
But
Clip this. Bzzz.
I certainly hear it on his recording. Jungle Cruise. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. That's the synopsis of my review.
It doesn't hurt. It's just not great.
It's not
I'm just upset
bad.
that
It's lazy.
I'm upset that like this is gonna be what we have to look forward to for the next like 8 years for Jungle Cruise 2 through 6.
How? How are they going to make sequels to this?
Well, there's
I
an
don't
easy
know.
one sequel. I don't know how you would call it like Jungle Cruise necessarily, but maybe like this cast of characters stars in other movies based on Disney rides and attractions.
I don't know. Maybe they're gonna have
Maybe
a
maybe the
crossover
next
with
one's
Captain
the
Jack
Tiki
Sparrow.
Room. Okay, maybe it's the
Yeah.
Enchanted Tiki Room's the next movie, and they have to go there to get the next MacGuffin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like we would have said the same shit for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, but
I feel like that movie.
that one's a little easier
Yeah,
to
I
sequel
guess.
for. I feel like because you can just do pirates. I guess the Caribbean
I don't know.
portion.
They broke the curse, and
You could just do the same shit for this.
yeah,
You could just do more pirates going into the
You know what I
Amazon
want?
or something, or be like a different jungle,
different cruise.
yeah. I suppose that's a fair point.
We should go down the Nile and meet up with Brendan Fraser coming back with his mummy cameo.
You wrote the script, Peter.
We can.
You're not supposed to do the mouse's
Yeah,
job.
we got to build out the early 20th century British explorer iverse. Because you got Atlantis: The Lost Empire, you got the Mummy, you got the Treasure Cruise. That's about it. You got
Then we'll
Indiana
go to
Jones.
India.
It's a little later on.
Maybe they'll go look up some Chinese lost temples and go. through some of their
Remember the
jungles. They got
mummy,
jungles,
the,
right?
the Chinese mummy, where all the corpses were buried under the Great Wall and they all like rose up. They had to fight like the Chinese
Nope.
dragon emperor.
Oh yes,
Nope.
the third mummy.
Yep.
That wasn't as bad as people seem to remember.
Apparently, Brendan Fraser fucking destroyed himself filming that because he did his own stunts.
That's not good.
Yeah, he always did his own
And
stunts until his body betrayed
Ruined
him.
himself. Yeah, that makes me feel bad for him. But he's coming back. I think he got cast in something. I forgot what it was.
He was in Doom Patrol.
he was
recently.
I know we were enthusiastic about whatever it was.
Brendan Fraser like got recast in some big old flick. Oh, he's Canadian. I don't like him as much.
Brendan Fraser.
Oh wow, he got big for a while there.
Mhm.
Yeah, for a while he looked bad, but I mean he went through a really messy divorce.
The Wikipedia picture is him at the premiere of The Mummy 3.
Yep.
What's his filmography?
Yeah, what's this new thing? What you got coming new in the pipeline? He's in a movie called Brothers, Killers of the Flower Moon,
The Whale.
Behind the Curtain of the Night, The Whale, Big Bug Man, which was a TV movie. Oh, that's from 2006. Wow, he had a big gap there, didn't he?
Have either of you guys?
No Sudden Moves, Professionals.
Weird question. While I was looking up his filmography, I found this movie, The Poison Rose. Have either of you ever heard of this movie?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Because it's him, and it's also John Travolta and Morgan Freeman as the headliners of this movie. And somehow, I've never heard of this.
Well, there's a lot of movies like that come out, like The Bucket List, that have big name actors in it, but they're not very high effort things, and you just kind of forget about them at the time. Like, I don't think anyone's going to remember The Worst Grandpa in 5 years.
We will, though.
Except us, because we spent.
Oh yeah,
Brendan
Fraser tears up as fans rally for his comeback with new Scorsese Aronofsky films. So I guess he's coming back and doing one. Has joined Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro as cast members on Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. I guess
that's the one.
The new
okay.
big movie.
That was one of the ones that was on there. He plays Ron A. All right. Well, enough about Brendan Fraser. We got to talk about.
We really don't want to talk about
Jungle Cruise. I got some things to say about this movie. I have some notes written down. Not a lot of them, but they're here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Technically, so just thinking from a technical angle on this movie, usually I'm not so cogent with these, but in this case, there were some very clear. You could see some of the seams, even for a layman like myself.
I mean, yeah, the CG overall in this movie was not fantastic. Well, actually, it was really inconsistent because there were some scenes with the boat that were animated where it looked pretty good. But then there's the Jaguar, which looked
Jaguars,
really bad.
Snakes. There's like all the pirates.
So,
like the honey one looked really.
Although that was
gross.
We'll talk. I like the concept for the undead conquistadors because honey zombie, not one you think of. It's not one you think of much.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think they have that whatever shortcut program they use in Disney to like put the airbrush impressionism filter over everything and kind of give it that soft glimmer, or not glimmer, but that kind of filter over it that makes everything just look a little. Takes their CGI that they have to make reels and reels and reels of, or I guess terabytes of, and just kind of puts softens it all up for you. Gives it a little storybook quality, but that's the easiest thing to do on the big background shots and the 10,000 sweeping environment shots in this movie. I feel like there was a lot of, you go from big sweeping overarching shot to close up of the characters, very close, and you don't see a lot of like mid-level set shots, probably because they didn't have a lot of set. They did the green screen arena kind of deal.
Yeah, I would think.
Which there are a couple scenes where it really stood out. Remember the guitar scene at night where it was like the end of the first day on the Amazon, and they're sitting there. He's got the car, and you can see the aliasing around all their silhouettes. Yeah. I was like, that's...
Really did not hold up in some areas, but I mean other areas did look nice. Maybe that's when the sun was out and they were a little bit easier to animate something, like when the towards the end when they were finding the water to stone riddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because like I don't really know what they were kind of going for. Just adventure turned into riddle.
It was very
turned into finding like the MacGuffin, using the MacGuffin in like the surprising way. Very formulaic.
If this was to be like a Pirates of the Caribbean type project, like if that's what they were going for, it was way too like cartoony.
The Rock was a fucking character.
Like the bad guy, like everyone in this was like a fucking character archetype, and that was it. Like you have The Rock being like aloof hero. You have Emily Blunt being persecuted female genius in the Victorian age. You have her brother being effeminate man. You have the villain being
effeminate German man,
evil for the sake of being evil. Every character.
I gotta say, that actor does a good villain. I've seen him in other stuff. He carries that over to this, and they wrote him pretty well. To be
for
the right amount, I think the right amount of evil.
I think he was cartoonish because, like, in the beginning,
but it's a Disney. It's for kids, though.
I understand it's well. I mean,
they can't have a.
Was it?
It's the same reason why they can't just like slap swastikas on. I'm surprised they went German, to be quite honest.
Well, I think he was Hungarian, actually.
But didn't he work for like the Germans and like I'm assuming he was a part of like the Nazi regime if he was trying to help them win the.
Now that I think about it, that is weird because he definitely was Belgian.
Yeah,
like in Belgium, that makes sense because like when you think of Belgium at that time period, you think
what was this set?
Think of rampant colonialism. The whole business in the Congo. But then he has a U-boat, and they call it a submarine. It should have been a U-boat.
Yeah, it's weird because like I'm trying to think now because when we were talking about this, I remembered the U-boat. And I'm just trying to think, like, what time period is this supposed to be set in?
They said it was like 1903. So it was like, 1906, during World War One. Yes.
Oh, so World War One? Oh,
but didn't World War One not start till 1907? Or 1909?
I remember, or whatever it was, it said 2 years into the Great War. I remember there's that little subtitle there.
1916.
Sorry.
Okay.
Apparently.
World War One was
set in 1916.
Was 14 to okay, so that makes a little more sense in terms of some of the technology, but not. I don't think the society quite fits that timeline.
Yeah, there were some odd things. Like I feel like I don't know details that like I got caught on, which I probably wouldn't have got caught on if the movie was more engaging. Yeah, because I'm like, she has this whole thing where she can't swim that comes up like twice, I guess.
I mean, they had to give her a character flaw, otherwise she would be a complete Mary Sue.
Yeah, they couldn't, but they could only establish that twice. But they could establish that she can lockpick about 4 to 5 times
in the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but she can lockpick.
They
were very subtle about it.
She wasn't a complete Mary Sue. Not just aside from like the swimming, even if she could swim.
I guess. Oh yeah, my point with that was like also a rich woman in the the 1910s ish probably would have had swimming lessons. Woman of her state.
Yeah, but I mean, she also like did fail a bunch of times.
Oh sure,
and like just trying to like escaping. Like she did get captured. She couldn't fight off those, and when she even tried to get onto the boat, she messed that up by zip lining into a sheet or whatever and getting blinded.
Yeah, but like they're minor compared to like being abducted and then making your own escape and then going about your freeing the monkey crusade.
I will say
largely unabated.
Yes. Yep, for sure. That's like the Disney like very much their new live action trend where they're just like they're really upfront about it and it's a little ham-fisted, more than a little maybe.
But it was also very cartoon, like you said, yeah, ham-fisted and cartoonish. These action scenes are very cartoon. Like she's fumbling around, accidentally beating him up or whatever.
There was
you know,
always
and then-
a metal
and then punching a
post
rock.
to shove someone's head in, no matter
Yes,
where the fight
yeah.
scene took place. There's always a metal post to push someone's head into.
Yeah, and then she had the character flaw of just being sometimes a little bit too headstrong.
That was what I was
and
going
not
to say.
listening
She kind of
to
like
others, going her
she
own
doesn't.
way.
She's not considerate of the other people going on the journey with her.
Very rarely was she ever punished for that. You know?
Well,
There were never like really big consequential things. Like when she fell through the roof, and he tried to warn her. He's like, "Don't go that way," and she's like, "Well, I'll do what I want because I am a girl and I can get away myself." And then she fell through the roof, but nothing happened. She
asked them to go through the rapids, and that nearly breaks the whole ship.
Yes.
Well, it's like
I would have wanted them to break the fucking ship. Go for it.
it's like in Captain Marvel when the one guy says you're going too fast, and she's like, "No, I'm not," and then she wrecks her fucking soapbox derby car, and it's like, what a strong, independent woman, not listening to friendly advice.
See, I know we love rewriting these movies like this. Rewrite it better. Have them fall down the waterfall and bust up the boat pretty bad. And then show the Rock or the Frank or whatever working through the night to fix it and not even be tired in the morning. That's like your first inclination. Okay, maybe he's
quick spoilers, but we already spoiled it that he's
more than meets the eye.
He's eternally young. He's a river spirit or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't quite
Spoilers.
sure
Go see
what
it.
was going on there. I don't think they did a great job of explaining
Yeah, 'cause
how
I
the
got lost
transition
too.
happened. Like, I get that they were conquistadors and they were searching for the pedal because the main dude's daughter was dying, and the Rock had a boner for the daughter, so they searched through the Amazon, and then they just kind of
he was just a good
became.
friend.
No, they found the they found
I thought
the
he was
village.
just a good friend of the.
Well, I'm using hyperbole.
Well, yeah,
Or
but
whatever.
they got hurt, and the villagers took them in and healed them with the tears, and they're like, great.
Yeah.
And then
With the tear. want more.
main boy got salty and did a colonizer on him and took out the whole village, and the chieftain put a death curse on him that you'll be alive forever. And they were fine. They were like, I mean, they were cursed with terrible immortality, but they were pretty though. They were still pretty. And then
they were.
and then the
normal. They
Rock
didn't get,
threw him
like-
in a mud hole, and then they turned into the Pillar Men from JoJo for 400 years.
I guess the caveat there is they had to stay within a certain.
They had to within sight of the river, yeah.
Within sight of the river, yeah.
And somehow the Rock found a perfect hole that the jungle would
Yeah, like because
just keep them there and then turn them to stone.
They were
that made no sense.
Yeah,
Turning
but they were
them to
trapped
stone,
against that wall. So the Rock was on one side and the wall was there. So we put them between the Rock and a hard place.
But like the magic vines, like that didn't make any sense. That's where I'm like, why are the vines magic?
Well, I think the vines were supposed to bring them back to the river. If like let's say they just walked away from the river, the vines would have come out from the jungle and dragged them back to the river. But since there was a pit in the way, the vines couldn't.
The physics
drag
came
them
through and they hit the boundary.
The physics engine worked this time.
They
That's
clipped
what's
through the
dumb
side
about
and
it.
went in the negative
this
zone.
is so like this movie is too dumb to have a subplot this dense to understand.
Yeah, and they did a good amount of exposition trying to explain it, and I mean clearly
A lot of exposition in unsubtitled Spanish. Which
you guys couldn't understand that?
I could get parts of it, but like, it was weird. Like I guess I'm fine with it. Like, but usually in like it's a departure from typical movie grammar where
it might.
Wait, yours was unsubtitled? I don't think mine was.
It might actually. So sometimes with Plex, the subtitle track isn't enabled by default, and so when it's in a foreign language and you don't have like a specific subtitle thing on, it won't have the subtitles. It's like a different layer of the movie.
No. Like in the movie, I feel like I remember it was like there were no when they were speaking the foreign language.
So no, that's what I'm trying to say is that sometimes even when they're supposed to be in the movie, they don't show up unless you turn on a subtitle track.
Yeah, I think there might have been one point where there was no subtitles, and then later on when there was a longer conversation of it, there was more subtitles. But yeah,
I looked it up. It was a deliberate choice for them to not let us understand what the conquistadors were saying in Spanish if you didn't just know Spanish. Which was a strange choice for me.
Was it to hide the fact that Frank was
no
part of their group? Was it that part?
I'm reading the excerpt from who they talked about here, which I don't know if that's the actual one, but this is their explanation. Is that they were just doing it in Spanish because all the actors were Spanish, and they're like, this just flows better. What if we just do this and we just don't translate so it's mysterious and we don't know what they're saying?
Yeah. I appreciate the homages to the Jungle Cruise ride with some of the,
of course,
the corny jokes. In the beginning, that was probably one of the best. This is one of the hammier performances I've ever seen The Rock give. Reminded me a lot of Bruce Campbell. I don't know why, but like there are just some scenes where I'm like, I feel like this role was for Bruce Campbell.
Like you just wanted to hear him say groovy.
Yeah. We had to wait 15 minutes before the title splash.
Yeah, and it's 15 minutes that just have like a lot of action scenes, which felt out of place
and two different like hemispheres of the Earth.
Mm-hmm. You already put way too much in your movie before you even like set anything up. Because I will forever compare this to Atlantis: The Lost Empire, because that's a very well paced movie where you get to it's maybe a little slow at the beginning, maybe, but not really, because it's setting up the story. It's setting up Milo Thatch and how he's a dweeb and what he wants and how he's going to get it and how he meets up with the other crew, and you get to see the adventure build and build, and you get hyped, and it's like the little lead up to a roller coaster. It's the ramp up. And with this one, it's like one of those 40 mile an hour coasters that just like launch you out of the gate, but not in like a good way.
Yeah. It took us 25 minutes to get our first pee joke. Mm-hmm. Kind of impressed by the restraint, to be honest with you.
That's right.
There were way too many spiders in this movie. I was not warned of that.
There was not a spider conquistador.
For some scorpions.
I know. I took note of that. Like, no. All right, that's at least a positive.
Yeah. So I liked the Frank character before he was revealed to be, when he was just a grifter who kept on grifting.
Or like his brother went on the expedition and he lost him and he can't trust anyone anymore.
He doesn't need to be involved with the
magic,
the subplot,
the lore
of finding this fucking tree thing. He can just be the regular Joe working man.
Yeah.
Who does this? Like, he could be like a Han Solo type character. Han Solo wasn't fucking a Jedi or involved with the Empire or even the Republic for that matter. He's just a guy who occasionally runs some jobs for Jabba the Hutt and is behind on his money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, doesn't need to be tied into it. He could have just wanted to go along, or he heard about the thing.
Don't give Disney any ideas, though.
It's just like, I don't get it. Like, and after that, it's like, now that we know he's indestructible, it's like, all right, just put him in front of all the danger.
Yeah, it's like when he has the fucking fight with the Jaguar. I'm watching this, I'm like, if that doesn't turn out to be his Jaguar and he staged this thing, then this entire scene was fucking pointless.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they had the good sense to pay that off in the proper way. I mean, it was kind of predictable, but that's the right way to pay it off for his character.
Well, because it was a goofy fight to begin with. It was like kind of weird,
his
his
clothes were surprisingly undamaged for being visibly mauled for as long as
Yes,
he was.
he literally got bit, by the jaguar, and then he never really gave it a good punch or whatever.
Yeah, so that was I guess you could argue that was the first dose of maybe there's something going on here, but then they just reveal it to be another grift, so you assume that you're grift.
Yeah,
it's just the grift, and some folks would say, well, that's a red herring, Kurt. That's good twist building, but it just fucking falls out of the sky. There's no reason for it. It makes his character less interesting, and it makes the very forced romantic entanglement between his character and Emily Blunt super fucking creepy because he's 400 years old.
Yeah. I love how there are some lines that just didn't make sense with that, where he's why do you you girls wear so many clothes? He makes some comment about her attire, everyone does, because that's how they represent the male oppression. However, is just that everyone's surprised that she wears pants. That
got so old so fast.
Yeah, but anyways, Frank is he also has comments about her clothing, but I'm and I just look at the screen, I'm you're from 1500 when princesses still just wore full dresses and stuff.
Yeah.
And you were, you as a conquistador were plated up in 5 layers of chainmail and fucking pauldron vests or whatever. Don't go talking about too many layers on a lake. Come on, get out of here. No. My favorite. So, the one scene I really liked in this movie was the conquistadors' attack on the village. That felt like a unique setting and a creative action sequence, because that's the first time you see them do stuff, and you're oh, cool. It's he's a tree conquistador. Oh, the man has snake powers. Oh, it's a honey guy.
Yeah, I like to point
evil
out
honey man
that the Dutch boy makes a deal with a literal snake. And I'm well, of course he's going to get betrayed because he's a literal fucking snake.
Yeah, literal snake.
Yeah. It's a good action scene.
I'm sorry, I found Emily Blunt's character to be kind of grating in some spots because they ratcheted up the volume on the strong independent woman a little too high.
Yeah.
I have a note written here, not saying violence against women is ever justified, but Emily Blunt's character could use a good smack in the mouth.
Mm-hmm. So
sure, she was a little
yeah.
Little,
okay, I have a question.
Wait. Okay.
Does the fact that her brother is gay make the character better or worse? Because they're kind of playing with some behind the times stereotypes.
Yeah,
with him being super effeminate. I feel like it probably works better if he isn't gay. They were smart though, because they didn't have him interact romantically with another man, so they can just edit that line out for China.
Exactly what I saw. That was one scene that they could just nix from the movie for whatever audience they want, which is I think speaks to the nature of the issue. Was that it's as to quote more red letter media, passive progressive.
Yeah, it was I look back at that scene and I'm all right, great, you're including a gay guy or your gay character in the.
I thought it was just kind of the joke,
but it was pointless. It was
until,
to be there.
So until the very end where it ties into why he's the only reason for that whole scene was why are you still hanging out with this lady? Who,
my initial thought was, oh, they're being he's the brother, she's the sister, but she's the quirky tomboy, and he's the effeminate, fancy boy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was just the whole premise there, but then they put that in there, and I'm I feel like that kind of makes it worse.
Yeah, and it never plays into any other aspect of his character. It's more just a failure of characterization than anything that it actually says to me. You know, it's like they had a good character and they just put the layer of it on there. Same thing with Frank, like how he is the 400-year-old immortal guy.
Yeah,
which
it's just
I'm gonna
tacked
pull
on.
it back to the scene because the attack on the village ends with him getting stabbed. Now, if we weren't giving him the twist that he was like an immortal guy, you can say, oh, maybe it was like a non-lethal wound, but he's gonna die really quick. So you have to race to get to the pedal to save his life. And now you have the conquistadors and the U-boat and Frank's imminent demise all coming together, heading up to this climax like Blues Brothers style, where it's all just going to converge at the tree. And that's a very, like, that's a really good ramp up of tension and excitement. But they use it instead. they give you the twist, and you just like, oh, this wasn't important. I'm a totally different character now.
It reminds me of this movie. I think it had Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp in it. It was called The Tourist, I want to say. And,
that sounds about right.
Angelina Jolie's character was in love with this criminal called Alexander Pierce. And Johnny Depp is kind of like flirting with her, they build up romantic chemistry across the movie. And she's like, he at one point in like a panic like says that he is Alexander Pierce and he had all these surgeries and stuff done to alter his appearance for whatever. He has like some money stashed away or something like that. But anyway, the point of it is at the end it's revealed that he is actually Alexander Pierce because he knows the password to the fucking safe. And I'm like, this is the most unearned, stupid ending you could possibly have. Back when this movie came out, before I was like even like really thinking critically about movies, I'm like, that's dumb. Don't fucking do that. And that's how I felt with the Frank reveal. I'm like, this was a character who was already plenty interesting enough without this added layer of bullshit.
Thought he was fine. Agree. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was fine. I actually enjoyed his character. And then I was like, this is kind of
I liked his character a lot less after that reveal because
he's too busy. He's too busy.
He's got too much stuff going on.
He's got 400 years of character building that I gotta care about, and I liked him fine as just the grifter jungle cruise boat guide who was making quips all the time. That was great. I actually kind of enjoyed the puns.
Yeah, because the 400-year thing that adds on his rivalry with the conquistadors, which doesn't pay off great.
Oh, we got to shoehorn that thing in there, which isn't paid off well.
He gets a couple of like, I'm immortal, but I got shot and stabbed and stuff. Funny gags.
Like,
those aren't worth it. I don't think.
He had the one fight at the end. Yeah, well, they had the fight in the beginning, but you didn't really know at that point. But he had the one fight at the end when they were fighting, and it's just like he was beating them all up. Like, he was basically winning until they ganged up on him. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, shit, he's actually kind of kicking their ass.
Right, as they're in the chamber with the fastest moving moon I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
where that thing transits in 30 seconds. You got half a minute to grab a pedal.
Yeah, that wasn't in the whatchamacallit, the lore, lore dump that we got. We didn't know it was going to last all of 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's.
You should have broke the heart earlier. The fucking MacGuffin.
Yeah. That was the stock scene. That was the figuring out the ancient ruins mechanism
puzzle,
scene.
Yeah, it was very. Here, I'll just read. Because I don't have a lot more to say about this, and I don't know how much longer we want to talk about Jungle Cruise. So I'll put in my little summary I have at the bottom of my notes. It's paint by number and lacks any real character of its own, but Jungle Cruise is an enjoyable enough ride to serve as a 2-hour distraction for people of all ages, though kids will likely enjoy the ride a little bit more than us old folks, and I give it a perfect 5.0 out of 10.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all it really needs.
That's about the long and short. Yeah, this is... I would I'm glad this is a classic summer camp movie. This is the rainy day summer camp
Yes,
movie.
I almost wrote that in my summary, but I'm like, that's Peter's gimmick. I can't steal that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have the weirdest categories for movies.
this is gonna be one of those movies that I have a feeling will develop like a nostalgic cult around it. From kids who were around when it came out. It'll be
Yeah.
like a Hocus Pocus or a Good Burger type movie.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's a
this is
campy movie.
For 10 years from now, to all you now 21-year-olds visiting in the past, go check your mom's Blu-ray cabinet. There's going to be a copy of this. It's going to be right next to Avengers Endgame and like
Paddington 2.
Star Wars Episode 7, not 8 or 9, just 7, that they bought on sale when they were going to the Walmart.
7 is the one they cared about getting. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the sit in the living room on the DVD shelf movie.
I have a DVD of My Blue Heaven that I don't think has ever been opened, sitting on my media shelf.
Yep. I appreciate my parents' like VHS collection because that is one of the most well-loved VHS collections ever. Because my parents don't like TV as it is now. They're very, it's too much. So all of it's too much. They were very happy when they were able to watch Schmigadoon on Apple TV. I set them up for that so they could watch Schmigadoon. And they have like my dad's the kind of guy who will just pop in like the Lawrence of Arabia 2 VHS box set, and he'll just spend a Sunday afternoon watching that shit.
I've missed 2 VHS tape movies so much. Like that's when you knew you were in for some shit, man. Like you look at the Titanic, boom, boom, because you kids out there might not remember, but VHS tapes are like this fucking thick. And so when you have 2 of them next to each other, it takes up like a quarter of your fucking media shelf.
Okay, we get it. We're 2 parts.
That's enough slices.
It's enough movie.
That's what I think about this movie.
Yeah.
Put it away.
It's fine. I don't think it's anything that I would really say go out and see. This movie will find you. Don't seek it out. It'll find you.
True.
And if you want swashbuckling and adventures, go watch The Mummy or Lost. Go watch Atlantis again, or if you're into the anime and you're about to watch Star Wars Visions, go watch JoJo Part 2.
I feel like Pirates of the Caribbean.
I would like to do
a
side by side with Pirates.
We can revisit Pirates at some point. I don't know. We'll have to see what else is like. Fuck. I know What If is like being released episodically, so we got time on that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they already made a Tower of Terror movie back in '97.
Wait, Oh yeah, was that a Disney Channel original movie?
A DCOM? Maybe. I don't know.
I thought because I remember watching some sort of Tower of Terror thing, where all the people who they meet are like ghosts, and the big reveal at the end is that they're all ghosts or something like that. What it is.
I'm not sure if it is a Disney Channel original or if it was a just straight to DVD thing. It's got Steve Guttenberg and Kirsten Dunst in it. What the fuck is that cast?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, Kirsten Dunst she was like a child.
Yeah, this was in
Child.
her young days. Yeah, so all right, that's an interesting reveal. You don't need your ScarJo. We already have a Tower of Terror movie. Tomorrowland is not based on a theme park attraction. Tomorrowland is a section of Disneyland.
Maybe they just played it on. Disney DVD. Yeah, maybe there's a straight to DVD thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, Jungle Cruise, perfectly serviceable movie, but one that I really wouldn't recommend you go out of your way to see. If it's on TV or comes up in a streaming service, or if you're a big fan of The Rock, then I guess go ahead. Otherwise, I'd say look elsewhere. That'll wrap it up for episode 277 of the Saturn Studs podcast. Join us live Saturdays, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern, on Twitch TV / Saturn Studs. We've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain. We might switch it up and do like Borderlands Director's Cut or some of the other, maybe a new game that we haven't been planning on for a while. I guess that was kind of what Risk of Rain was. It just kind of took over our life for a little bit. That's the place to go for that. saturnstuds.com has links to our Twitch stream and our YouTube channels and archive of old episodes. I might have to update the site because I think you can get older episodes. I know most podcatchers only have the last 25 episodes. And if you want older, I think everything since the transition to Red Circle can be accessed through our Red Circle show page, which I should probably link on our website because I don't know the URL for that off the top of my head. And everything prior to that is on the old Blogspot interface, everything that's still up on archive.org. Because we've had a few things just disappear, and if you can't find a particular episode, if the link is dead, just email saturnstuds@gmail.com and I'll find you the MP3 and send it back to you there, buddy.
By request. Yep.
The bespoke
we do request
service. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for us. Until next time, be well, stay safe, and party like it's 1995.
Peace.
Bye-bye.